Hello, Star Wars unboxing fans. Welcome to a hodgepodge episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I say hodgepodge because, well, it's just a hodgepodge. There's no other way to describe it. There are so many different items here, and I had no idea what the best way to really tell you about them. So I'm calling this a... All right. If you look on my past videos, you'll see that there was a day while I was on my Disney trip that I went to a character warehouse and picked up some items on discount in its Disney outlet. Then you might also have seen some videos where I looked at and found some stuff at the Lakeland Antique Center. You may also have looked back and seen videos where I picked up a few items that weren't really discounted, but were maybe damaged, so I wanted to get them to unbox them. And I think what we're looking at all here, which I can't even see it in the frame, there are quite a few of all of these items. So I'm going to go through them one at a time and quickly unbox them and kind of give you their origin and everything else, which is really funny because, I'm looking at some of this stuff, and now that I've been doing this Star Wars yard sale every year, I'm like looking at the stuff now and say, okay, how many years before it ends up in the yard sale? Which, you know what though, I'm okay with that because I'm not paying very much for it, and if I only get a few pennies back, it's okay. It all just gets rotated back into the funding to go to Disney and eat and maybe even pay for hotels and things of that nature, or to buy product to put back in the collection, and then maybe a few years that'll get sold and just back and forth. It's fine. It's an enjoyable hobby and I really like it, and since I don't have the room to be able to constantly be adding stuff, I have to subtract as well. It's okay. So let's start with the biggest one in the room here. The Character Warehouse had this 4-pack on sale for about $50, which still is a little high, but that means that each figure was about $12 each. But that's still about $4 or $5 cheaper as individual figures go. And like I did in the previous episode where I had more Jabba figures to put on the barge or in the palace or whatever, I'm going to use these guys and unbox them so that I can do that. I was always hoping that I could find some of these vintage series packs. They've been doing a lot with Black Series. There's been a few Black Series figures that have kind of gone in, and that's great, but I don't really collect Black Series, and I have no real interest in that. So this is good for me to do. So we have Reese, which again is another figure that I think came with one of the things. So, and who's to say my figures aren't going to find their way into the Cantina playset? It's, hey, let's face it. This is Tatooine, okay? This is, these guys are on Tatooine. There's no reason not to be able to do that, and some people look at them. Of course, people who go back and watch my very, very early channels. There's Reese looking cool. I have a fondness for Reese because I think he was the first Return of the Jedi figure I ever saw on the rack. I looked in, and the first one I saw went boom, right there, and I said, what's this guy's story? And he had no story, of course, because that's what Kenner does. They made figures that they did not really have anything to do. They were just background characters that looked cool. But that's okay because we as children that played with toys, we were the kind of people that we made up our own stories, and that's kind of sparking the imagination. I don't know if this is the exact guy, but I'm gonna call this guy the guy. Well, his name is Velkin Terezi, but I'm gonna call him the guy who shot Luke. I don't think it's him. I think it's another guy who looks like him, but I'm going to call it him for now. The guy who shot Luke. Luke's hand shooter. Didn't last long to enjoy the victory, but hey. Although I don't know, did Luke kill him? Or did Luke just, maim him? I don't know. He just kind of fell back. Another one, again, popular not only in Jabba's palace, but, in other aspects as well. Tessic. One of the Quarren, sworn enemies of the Mon Calamari. So if we ever have a Mon Calamari like playset, I can put him on there as well. And then lastly, we got the Taim Dren Garen. I always wonder, these guys that were the people that we have a disconnect here in the States. If anybody here watches from from another country. We have a bit of a disconnect with Star Wars in that most of it was shot in the UK, and I mean it's fine. But what's cool is that this part of it, Jabba's sail barge, not Jabba's palace, but Jabba's sail barge, was shot in the United States. It was shot in Death Valley. So there's always like, oh, we should go. There are people, I give them a lot of credit. They go out and they make pilgrimages to death, to where the coordinates where they shot it, and that's great. I don't know if I'm ever doing that because it's really, really hot. But I always say these actors. I've started meeting these actors. Some of the actors that are playing the stuntmen. Now they have action figures, but they didn't have names. They were just Jabba Goon number 2 or whatever. So this guy, he's got a name. I don't know how excited the actor might be or the stuntman might be. He may not care. Tame Dren Garen. So 4 more loose figures to put out there. So that's good. All right, what else we got? I do want to come to this one. This is actually one from Ross. I had in the last episode, I unboxed 4 figures, 3 of the same figure, and then a 4th, like a Nick 2 figure, and then another one, which came from Ross. This also came from Ross. Now, I don't really do much collecting of the Micro Squadron, but every so often there's like one vehicle that I just don't have a lot of, that I just like to have a representation, and this doesn't take up a lot of room. It's Yoda's little starfighter, which I always thought was so cute. And it comes with a little baby Yoda and a little baby R2. This was back, there were several lasts when it came to, oh my goodness. How the heck? Okay. There were several lasts when it came to the, oh my God. Clone Wars. And one of the lasts was when there's a Yoda arc. And he goes and I forget exactly what happens. He meets up with some Force people. And it's really, really cool. So I like it. And I think R2 came. R2's all knowing, man. A good thing, his memory wasn't erased. So, you get the wings up. Pretty cool, right? I know I used to have all the titanium vehicles. And honestly, these are probably going to be in the sale eventually, but I just liked them. I just thought it was good. And again, it was like Ross prices, which is barely anything. Another one from I bought a few of these, and I said to myself, why did I buy them? They were $17.99 originally. They were almost $18 with tax, close to $20. These are just pins. They're Disney official pins, so you can trade them if you want at Disney, but they look like the action figures. All right. I picked up about 5 of them, so about $100 worth when they came out, those are some things that I'm like, ugh, I got to do better with those impulse purchases. But this was on sale for like $4 or $3, and it was a Grand Moff Tarkin action figure, which I know they didn't have originally, but they have made it since, so it's kind of cool. So I'll add him to my other ones there. What else we got? Okay, I told the story about my action figure, the retro Mandalorian Remnant Stormtrooper that was delivered in a box by the U.S. Postal Service in front of my garage, which is on the back end of my house. You have to go past my house, go around the back, and drop it off there. No shade, no coverage. And I was away for 3+ weeks. Actually, I was away for a month. And this thing was there, and it got completely drenched. I mean, the people it was an eBay purchase. The eBay seller did an amazing job packing it, wrapped it in plastic, wrapped it again in bubble wrap, wrapped it. It was protected, but it wasn't. I don't expect them to make it ready for deep sea diving. I mean, obviously, if you get waterlogged enough, the water's going to seep through. I'm sure it wasn't 100% airtight, so it's not terrible. And the funny thing is that the distressedness of it kind of makes it look weird. And the figure is untouched. The figure is protected. And it's just a slightly dirtied version of the Remnant Trooper. So no real harm, but I'm glad. I swore I ordered the Monopoly game. This is one of those things where I have to go back and check because I swore I ordered it. I looked back on my orders, and it was just one of those things that slipped away. Either I forgot to hit submit or I bought it and they never sent it. I don't know. But now I got the figure. I don't really care about them. I have like 6 Star Wars Monopoly games. I don't need a 7th. So talk about figure building. This was from the Lakeland Antique Center. There were plenty of by the way, no original vintage figures, no original vintage vehicles, no vintage anything. But I was able to find some of these, and this Mon Calamari officer, I just felt it's nice to have an opener, nice to have one here, and if I ever want to make a Admiral, we have enemy ships in Sector 27. I got the guy to do that, so and I love the Mon Cal, and now I can have these two guys can have battles. So there you go. Awesome. Very good. No, I'm not keeping the Jedi Force file. I think I have it somewhere anyway. These are other ones. I was going to unbox this because it's kind of a damaged box, but I think this might end up being a resell, and I'll explain why. I already unboxed this. So go back to one of my earliest episodes, and I unboxed this. It's right off camera over here, just kind of on the shelf. Still, all three of them are still kind of bolted to their base. And this one, I think I'm just going to, now that I see that I did that already, I'll take those out. Put them on in the cantina once we get the cantina next year. This guy will go in next year's sale. So it's the first item. And then we have this guy. This is still available in Disney Parks, still available online. I always wait to try to get it in Disney Parks because I get 20% off as the annual pass holder, and that doesn't always work online. Sometimes my daughter, who was a cast member, she has officially turned in her green ID, and she is now up, well, I should say, she's temporarily up getting training for her new job, and then she will go down, and then I'll go down and help her move up, and then she's kind of moving back in. We're really ecstatic. Our daughter did a great job. You've seen some of her art. You've seen some of her caricature skills. She's really great as an artist. She will continue to do art, but it'll be more of a side job, and so she can have steady work. Working in an office, and she's just getting training for that. She's looking forward to it. She likes the people she's working with, and she likes doing children's book art. So if you know of anybody who wants an artist for a children's book, leave a comment. I will put you in touch. So anyway, this was actually damaged. I didn't get any discount. Disney doesn't do that. They just find you one that's not damaged. So I just paid for it as is, but I just have less guilt about opening up. I'm TC14 at your service. This way, please. TC14 comes with a tray, 2 cups that I believe are permanently affixed to the tray, which I think is good, and like a little decanter that fits there. So I think if I get him positioned well enough, gotta see if this will work. Come on, Disney, do better than Hasbro did. Although I think they're kind of all the same. No. Did not work. Excuse me. I don't want to lose these things. I a couple of times I've... All right, let me see if I can get him holding the tray first. Got this. Come on. Okay. This is what I don't like about multi-points of articulation. They don't always articulate the way you want them to articulate. All right, so I think if I just do that, then I can stick that in there. And there he is, holding his tray. Will he pass the stand test? Pretty good. He passed the stand test. All right. Very good, TC14. We'll get you over there with your Jedi peeps in a little bit. Got a nice pile of cardboard and plastic here that I have to figure out. Happy Life Day. This is a 2022 sketchbook, which is Disney's kind of brand. This is from the Character Warehouse. Disney's kind of brand of... I'm not going to take it... Well, no, I will take it out of this eventually. I'll put it out. But I don't think they had the Life Day ornaments when I went after them at 2022. But if they did, then this will also go in the sell pile. So we'll wait and see. We also have this one. This is a Star Wars Holocron. I am not exactly sure where this came from. It says that there is a looks like what is a screwdriver thing. I'm gonna kind of unscrew it and see what's in here. It looks like, oh, we do have 2 batteries here. I don't know if I have them, so it looks like it might be it might just light up, but I can see just in the thing it looks like we have. Oh, it's Obi-Wan. It's Obi-Wan from, I believe, Rebels. So it's like when he says, "This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. By now, the Jedi have all but fallen." So I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can kind of see there Obi-Wan in there. So it's a kind of a cool little piece. I mean, we have holocrons that like light up and do cool things, but I'll pile that in with anyone else. Okay, am I done? Oh no, got 3 more things. Tabuite! The Chandrilla Starline Halcyon Star Cruiser Training Shield. I almost bought it on the ship, but I decided against it. I kind of said to myself, I bet you that's going to be on the discount. I then saw it in the store. Didn't buy it then. I had it in my hand. I had it in my cart. I was going to take it and put it in my little bag I was carrying around, then I put it back. But then when I finally did see it at the Character Warehouse for about half price, I said, all right, we'll get it. Fine. Now, the thing is, I don't think that there is any, I don't know if there is even any, I don't think there's any battery power to this. I just think that, for those who didn't know, which is most of you, there was lightsaber training in the Galactic Star Cruiser. And you either had, they had everybody, they had like 4 or 5 people in a row that would take lightsabers and it would block light beams. But then they had like 4 people behind each of them. So there was like 30 people in the room, or 25 or 30 people. So the other 4 people, 25 people, when those 5 or so were doing the lightsabers, would grab the shield and kind of block and do things with it. So at least they were active. So that was kind of what it was. So this is very unique, very exclusive to the Galactic Star Cruiser. You will not find it in use anywhere else, at least not yet. But I am hopeful, because we were down there for a month and I saw the Galactic Star Cruiser lit up, seemed like it was being cared for. The signs are still up, so I will hold out hope until they bulldoze the thing, which I hope they don't, because it's amazing. All right, so that's that. Now, this is from Tokyo Disneyland, and it is Earth Cookies from Star Tours. The adventures continue. Now, I have no idea how old these are. I am not, guys, a YouTube crazy person, okay? I am not the kind of person, I know there have been some Star Wars fans that I've actually watched that have eaten 30-year-old food. I'm not that person. However, I'm also not a person who collects food. I collect food containers. I like this. Very unique to Tokyo Disneyland, something I have no experience being at. It's the same ride everywhere, but it is cool to see something unique that you can't get anywhere else. So, and I might even break it down to a flat box. But there it is. Now the cookies. I'm not going to keep them, but I feel like I should try one. No. Nope. Nope. Not going to do it. It smells like cardboard. Ugh. No. Okay. Almost done. Sorry. I won't put a thumbnail in the beginning like I eat 30-year-old. Well, it isn't 30. I think it's like 15-year-old. 15 years. It's 2010. I think is when it came out again. So it's 14 years old. I mean, no. Just no. Absolutely not. All right. A throw blanket by Jeff Granito, who did a lot of the art for like he did a whole like artistic thing with the cantina, and it was really cool, and he did a lot of pieces with it. There was a lot of ceramic dishware, there was some coasters, really cool stuff. But I the only thing I got was the shirt, and it's kind of like a Hawaiian style shirt, and it had a lot of the imagery. So I figured, well, maybe maybe I will, I like having blankets, so this is a nice, oh, it's got the tassels on the back. So what do I have here? Looks like it's Han. Oh, so I think it's when Han got his, it's got the band. Oh, that's awesome. All right. This is awesome. This is great. I don't really have enough space. Sorry for the sound effect things. I don't have enough space to show you the whole thing. I'm thinking that it's probably, oh yeah, here we go. Just ripped it, but this is what it looks like from up front, from up close. I love it because it has the cantina band in it. I was hoping for the cantina band. That is my favorite part of the cantina, of course. So, and then lastly, and it's kind of a letdown. I think the blanket was a better top end, but I gotta say, I was so happy I could get discounted calamari and flan, just because I thought that was the funniest thing. For those who don't remember, this was a scene in I think it was the first episode of The Mandalorian when he brings in the bounty and Grief Karga wants to pay him, Imperial credits, but Imperial credits aren't good anymore. So he's like, I can give you such and such and calamari and flan. I just got to take it out. I am so curious as to what, because when he picked it up and it made like a squishy sound, I'm sure that was just a sound effect. I'm sure that doesn't actually happen here. I hope it doesn't actually happen here because that would be weird. It's been sitting in this box, but come on. I'm just trying. I think for this I'm going to use my cutter to cut through this part, or at least help me feed it out. All right there. Ooh, almost there. Almost there. Almost there. There we go. There it is. Okay, so it's basically just, in real life, it is basically just a kind of like, almost like a marble, meaning like play marbles. I don't know about marble, like countertops or whatever, but like play marble, kind of plastic. That there is your form of payment. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It'll go on display, and then maybe someday I'll be like, hey, if they ever open up the Star Cruiser again, I'll go with my calamari flan and try to buy drinks with it. We'll see what happens. So, as I said, a hodgepodge, guys. It's what it was, and I'm really excited about all this stuff. As I said, some of it'll probably all end up going to the Star Wars sales in the future, but for now, it's here, and it's fun. Ironically, one thing that won't is I don't think I'm going to give up the shield. This is part of the Halcyon, and until the Halcyon, now if the Halcyon gets opened up again and we have some new type of adventure but utilizes a lot of the same thing, maybe I'll part with it if it's still around. But otherwise, if it's not around anymore and that's it, and I'm one of the few people that got to experience it, well then darn it, I am keeping hold of this. So that'll do it, guys, for this episode of Darth Tuba Stars Unboxing Show. There's a lot to unpack here, literally, a lot to unbox. But I think we did a good job. There are many, many more items. I am trying to consolidate. I don't want to keep unboxing forever and ever. I am still ordering new things that are coming in. I do have a very quick trip down to Disney. As I said, I'm going down to Florida to move my daughter back up. So we'll be down for a couple of days. I'm mostly packing, but we might take a little time into Disney at night. I don't know if I'll do any video. We'll have to wait and see, maybe. But right now, we did a lot here, and we have a little more. We've got a few big items, a few medium-sized items, and we'll get to those in the near future. So check out Instagram and X and Darth Tuba Stars Unboxing page on Facebook. And like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And until next time, thank you to Red 5 for supporting the channel. Please check out all the other Red 5 Network content. Until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you. May the stars light your way.